Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to a new episode of our webinar series that have been such a great success. For those of you who are new and this is your first time doing this with us, welcome. My name is Liz. I am based over in the US headquarters in New Jersey. I have been working with Cressi for a couple of years now, and I'm joined by two of my amazing colleagues who are in different parts of the world, so I would like them to just take the opportunity to introduce themselves really quick. We want to start with Theo.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Theo Knevel. I'm from the Netherlands originally, live in the Caribbean. I'm responsible for the Caribbean with Cressi, Scuba freedive instructor, brand ambassador, and I'm glad to be here to talk with you all about these phenomenal products that I have here.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Pete?
Hi guys, my name is Pete Girolamo. I cover the southeastern part of the United States, and just glad to be here this morning with all of you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for being here. I know your schedules are crazy. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for the other people who are joining us. You guys are getting to meet our international team from all over the world, which is a really cool opportunity. Also for me to see people because of COVID, which stinks. So, but we're here. We're going to talk about some new products as we've been doing this series. I'm super excited about. There's some really cool products. I'm going to share my screen really quick so we can start to kick things off. But before I do that, I just want to welcome everybody again and remind everyone who is here that there is a button on the bottom of your screen in your toolbar that says Q&A. That is for you guys to ask us any kind of question that you may have while we're talking today. We are here for you. Please don't be shy. There are no stupid questions. We are here to answer any doubts that you might have. So go ahead and drop your comments, your concern, your questions, anything in that box, and I will be reading them to both P and Theo for you guys because they are the experts and they're the people that you want to hear from. So take advantage, please. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. I'm just going to ask Theo, can you confirm that you see my screen here?
Confirmed.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so welcome again. This is our Aviator. It's the product that we're going to kick things off with. This is obviously B.C.D. that is new for us in 2021. But before we get into detail, I just want to remind everybody here that for some reason during this webinar, we go through it and there was something that you missed or maybe a question that you didn't get to ask. I want to remind you that there is a lot of information available for everybody at Cressi.com. You guys will be able to download support manuals as well as find technical specs and details. There's also our online catalog, and you can download all product information and photos there. So that's for you guys. There's also our YouTube channel, which can feature how-to videos and anything else that you might need. So please, if there was something missed, feel free to go ahead and access all these available channels for everybody. Alrighty, so guys, let's start this off really basic, I think. Theo, this question might be good for you. What type of BCD is the Aviator?
Aviator. So it's a travel BCD. I think also that's why you ask me, because people travel into the Caribbean, bring their BCD for all the right reasons, and want to have a travel BCD. I assume that most of you have not seen the Aviator yet because it's really brand spanking new. Think about Travelite. Travelite that is improved on several points because we had the pink Travelite and reviews don't lie. It has been the most sold BCD that we had. Mr. Cressi and his team in Genova in Italy redid the Travelite, same denier, same thickness, a lot of things the same of this most popular BCD. What they changed is, for instance, now we have the rotating shoulder buckles and we have the self-pivoting cummerband, waistband. This means that, exactly, thank you, Liz. So this means what we see here, regardless your gender, your age, your body type, you can make this one fit and more comfortable even than the Travelite was. So that's the main thing. It's a travel BCD, Liz, ideal for travel because it's lightweighted. It does not have the heavy hard backpack, but it has a semi-rigid backpack. And on the right of the picture that you see on your screen, you see how the cummerband, the waistband, attaches to the BCD bladder, and it's pivoting there. Nice little detail. I remember that we talked about this, Pete, you and I, when we were in New Jersey with this BCD in our hands. You can interchange the cummerband. So you can, as an optional, purchase a larger side cummerband with time if you have the need for this. So you can make it fit. It's really catered to whoever wants to have this BCD. Right, Pete?
Yeah, that's true, Theo. Yeah, you're spot on with all of your points, and many people that will travel to see you in the Caribbean wind up hopefully purchasing their BCDs here in the States, if that's where they're traveling from to the Caribbean. And so some of the features that I like to point out to the consumers are the ones that you pointed out, the fact that it is lightweight. And what I really like mostly is that it's not over manufactured. I think they did a really good job of taking, as you said, the Travelite BCD and kind of upping its game without putting too much on it. And to keep it simple, but not take away from the quality, and really delivering what the consumer is looking for when they travel in the way of a BC. So yeah, spot on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, travel BCD, and that you would assume that word says it, but it's true that I see travel BCDs with a lot of bells and whistles that you pay money for that you don't use while you're traveling, because you're not diving in Canada, in ice cold water, etc. I do have to mention though, we have trim pockets on the BCD, so it is a complete BCD with everything on it, just like the Travelite. But I would invite you, like what Liz mentioned, the URLs for YouTube and our website, to check it out and to consider it when you're ready for your next travel visit.
No, absolutely. I think that it's such a beautiful upgrade from the Travelite. For everybody in our audience, we do have a little poll for you guys that I would love to launch. This is just asking you guys, what new feature of the Aviator do you like to learn more about? This is a multiple choice. We're going to give you guys about 45 seconds to go ahead and answer this, and then I'll share the results. I already see you guys answering. Thanks so much. So yes, we're almost there. We have a couple of more people that are going to vote. Okay, thank you. You guys are so speedy. You didn't even need the full 45 seconds. I'm going to end the poll, and I'm going to go ahead and share the results really quick. So Theo, you can see my results, right?
Yeah, I can.
Awesome. So we can see here that the winner is kind of tied between the self-pivoting interchangeable wow, I can't speak right now. Let's try it again. Yeah. The self-pivoting interchangeable waistband and the lift capacity. We talked a little bit about the lift capacity of the BCD.
Yes, it's almost identically to the Travelite, and that brings me to the question that Steve Hager has in the Q&A. Good morning, Steve, or good evening, depending on where you are. No, that's not the idea. Of course, with all the respect for the Travelite, you will see that we will promote the Aviator big time, because we're very proud of all the new features of this travel BCD. But we've always had a pool with a variety of BCDs, and there's no word somewhere that I heard about replacing the Travelite, because it's not really competing. It's a different BCD. I would not call it a female BCD either, but I do understand that a lot of people with different body types might look into a BCD that is more adjusting in different ways. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that was a great question, guys. Thanks for using the Q&A. Again, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free. We're here for you. I think we're kind of good on the Aviator. Alrighty, guys, thanks again for that amazing overview about the Aviator. So that's going to conclude the topic of that, but we are going to move on to something really new and exciting in the topic of regulators. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm just going to ask Theo one more time, can you confirm that you see what I see? Confirm.
Perfect. Okay, guys, everybody meet the AC25. This is new for us as well. It is a first stage regulator that we're going to review right now. But I just want to remind everybody, if there's something that we missed or that you didn't have the opportunity to ask, all the information is available at Cressi.com, along with user manuals that are available for download. And there's also our digital catalog where you can download photos as well as technical specs. Anything that you guys need is going to be available there for you. So I'm going to come back to my amazing panelist, and I am going to ask, I don't know who wants to take it. It's totally up to you guys. Who would like to do an introduction of what the AC25 is?
Sure, Liz, I think I'd like to take that one. Yeah, super excited about this new regulator for us. The first stage is a balanced high flow piston regulator. And what that means basically is that regardless of your depth or tank pressure, it is unaffected in a way that doesn't affect your breathing. So if you're at 100 feet or you're at 60 feet, it's going to breathe consistently throughout. We're super, super excited about the quality and the engineering that went into this regulator. Secondly, another really neat feature that it has, if you can just put the cursor over the turret, Liz. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a 360-degree rotating turret, and with a low pressure port on the bottom, if you point that out. Yeah, so there's 4 low pressure ports along the perimeter of the turret, and then 1 on the bottom. The one on the bottom basically could be used well for many applications, but it allows the diver to customize his or her hose configuration on the first stage, so it can accommodate a dry suit, or you could use the bottom turret to go into your power inflator on your BC. I mean, there's many different ways you can do that. Mm-hmm. And the fact that your regulators are now hanging off of this rotating turret when your second stage is now in your mouth and you turn your head, because the turret will swivel, you don't get this, like the pulling, like, oh gosh, I feel like my regulator is going to fall out of my mouth if I turn my head to the opposite side. So really easy breathing regulator. I tell people it's you're reminded with every breath you take of the quality of regulator that you have. If you're on a 45 or 50-minute dive, mm-hmm. You want to make sure that it's an easy breathing regulator and it's safe.
Absolutely. Pete, I don't want to cut you off. We got a couple of questions coming in. I don't know which one of you is going to want to take this. So the first question is coming from Saul. Hi, Saul. Good to hear you. We have a question, and he's asking, how is this different than the AC25G? And I think this is just a description thing. Theo, maybe you could answer this, or Pete, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, so we have 2 different versions of the AC25 Sol and everybody else. We have the M and we have the G. Here in the United States, where we're talking from, at least that's where Liz is right now, we only have the M right now, which is an international version with the A clamp. We also have in Italy, in Europe, a G version, which also comes in a DIN. This is not available in the United States yet. Mm-hmm. So that's the broader difference, and it's the matte finishing, which makes the M the matte that we have, and then the G is a more shining, roaming one that we have not in the United States available right now. This is a good question.
Very good question. Absolutely. And I think a lot of other people will have the same question going forward. So it's good that we differentiated that. We got one more question from Kaizen Scuba. Hi, Kaizen Scuba. The first question was actually going back to the Aviator, and they were just asking about availability of when it's coming into stock. And then the second question was still on the AC25, if it was environmentally sealed.
So sorry, Theo, I'll take the regulator if you want to talk about the Aviator. That'd be great. But the first stage is not environmentally sealed. We have a diaphragm regulator that we'll be talking about later in this webinar. If they're looking for an environmentally sealed first stage, we can accommodate that need with another regulator that performs just as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see that there's beautiful regulators out there that they call somehow environmentally sealed, which are exactly the same kind of technique that we have, but they just base that on the coating of the spring and things like that, so it's less or it's more durable. We have the same coating. We have the exact same coating that everybody else has. So that's being said, Aviator, we're finally getting them. We're getting them, yeah. So I'm sure everybody's been aware of transportation and other things that are challenging. That also affects Cressi, of course. But slowly, bit by bit, just watch your mailbox, because I'm sure that marketing at Cressi USA will send out an email to every dealer out there when it's available. And then I would recommend, like with any new product, order soon, because they will well, be out of stock on the first batch, and then we have to wait more weeks. But like I said, we're going to push it a lot, so don't worry too much. It will be soon. We've seen the first ones.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your questions, guys. It's so nice. Thanks for interacting with us. We're here for you. So let's launch a little poll about the AC25. So I'm going to go ahead and launch it. We're going to give 45 seconds again. The question is, what seems to be your favorite feature on the AC25? So you guys can go ahead and vote. Again, we're going to give 45 seconds, but you guys are so quick. We probably don't even need 45 seconds. We're just waiting on a couple of other people to vote. Already I can see what's coming in quickly. So far the dominant answer is the 360 turret. I know that's such a cool feature of the reg. So okay, I think we're gonna give just 10 more seconds just to let everybody get the opportunity to vote. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's everybody. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share my results. Obviously, I think that the 360-degree turret is a winner for sure, without a doubt. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this, and then we're going to close the poll. Thanks, everybody, for taking part in that.
And another thing, I know there's a time limit. I was one of the 13% I couldn't vote. The 13% who is for the coaxial inline fifth port. What I want to touch is I think that the people who voted for that, I assume that I don't say that side mounting is a hype. Absolutely not. It's been there and it's probably never going to go away. This regulator is the exact T-shape, balanced first and first stage with the inline fifth port that people love to use in their side mount setup. I'm just touching this because as a Cressi dealer, having this on your wall opens up another can of worms.
Absolutely. The more you know. Everything is valid. No, I think that's amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Do you have anything else that you guys want to add? I think we covered it pretty well, the AC25. I don't see any more questions coming in on it. So if everyone is in agreement, I think that we're happy to start to move on to the next product. Yeah?
We were Best Buy and etc. Just check the reviews, please.
Exactly. Yeah. Review speaks for itself. Okay, guys, thank you. So I think we're ready to go ahead and move on to our next product. We're going to go back to the B.C.D theme. I think this product some people could already be familiar with because it is such a hot seller for us and it is such a well-made product. We're going to be talking about the Scorpion B.C.D. This was not introduced in 2021, but it did come in 2020. And probably didn't get the attention that it really deserved because of COVID. So we're spending a lot of time paying attention to this B.C.D in 2021 because already we've had such amazing feedback. Again, guys, all product information is available online for you at Cressi.com. There's also support menus and manuals available for download there. You guys can check our digital catalog out for high-res images as well as technical specs. And of course, on YouTube, there are videos, anything that you might need in terms of material for marketing or material. We're gonna keep it going. So I'm gonna bring this back to our amazing panelist here. And I would love one of you guys, if you can, to introduce the Scorpion B.C.D.
Yeah, so if you allow me, Pete, and maybe because I was one of the first that started diving it actually in Italy with Mr. Cressi himself, and I saw it. Of course, I'm sure you guys saw it's a wing. It doesn't have too many bells and whistles. It has aluminum D-rings and etc. So it's not a travel BC, but it's really lightweight. It has a thick bladder, 420 deniers, so it's about twice of the travel BCD. It's durable. But the main thing that you will see, thank you, Liz, is the flat lock weight system. The pockets are on the back, which is something that you might have seen before. And for me personally, there's a few things with it. First, from a consumer's perspective, when you swim, it means that you're very stable in the water. They're on your back, exactly where you have your buoyancy, most people. And another thing is it takes away from the bulkiness on the sides. So you have, because of this, we give that space to a bigger zipper pocket that can address more stuff, slates and etc. And your weight pockets are completely out of the way. It's a big bladder, it's a lot of lift. It's an upgrade from the Patrol that we all know. And the biggest thing is obviously that we have the same weight pockets, which are a winner in this BCD, but we now have pushed them vertically from this perspective. And when you're swimming, they're nice and horizontally on your back.
No, it's really beautiful. You talked a little bit about the weight pockets, Theo, and I guess a common question that I could see maybe somebody asking is that when you have the weight pockets in the back like that, how do you drop your weights in case of an emergency?
Same. Well, I do, of course, like what you do with any body check. You check somebody's, I'm not talking about you, which is one thing, you know your BCD, but somebody else that wants to assist you, what's his gear? And you might point it out like, hey, mine are vertical. It's the exact same method. The only thing is instead of pulling forward, you have to pull down. When you're vertical or in the water like this, you have to pull down, and where you're horizontal, you have to pull horizontal. It's not, it's different of what you might be used to, but it's the exact same movement. If you try it once, twice, and especially there's a ton of divers out there just to prefer to release their weights and hand them to the dinghy or to the boat before they fall out of the water, take the stairs, and because of that, try it once or twice and you hand them out and you'll be perfect, just like with your own BCD.
Absolutely. I had a comment, more of a comment than a question from Kaizen Scuba, and they said that they love, in all capital letters, this BCD. They said, however, maybe in the next upgrade version, they like that swivel shoulder strap that we showed them in the Aviator. Who knows? Possibilities are endless, guys.
I can only agree. You know, I like it if we come up with something really new and it works, like it works with the Aviator. So, to be continued.
Exactly, to be continued, as we always say. But yeah, we're always improving, we're always moving forward, and we always appreciate positive feedback and negative feedback because we're always to improve ourselves as well. So,
Hey, Liz, and this is for everybody out there listening here to this webinar or to the recording maybe later on. I really want to make sure that you understand that you're the architect of our BCD, because based on the reviews and the stories that we had on certain BCDs, we come up with new features and we improve. So thanks for helping reminding us that you really like the rotating shoulder buckles.
Yes, me too. I like them. They said that they also liked the drains in the pockets too, which is always a plus for sure. I agree. No, thank you guys. Thanks for taking part. I know you guys have scorpions at your shop as well. So I think that I have a poll that we can launch for the, not the Aviator, I'm all over the place here, for the Scorpion. I'm going to launch it right now, though this is for you guys. What feature would weigh heaviest on your decision to purchase a Scorpion? So it's back inflation for the travel BCD, a unique vertical weight system, or the detachable harness and air cell. We're going to give a couple of seconds. You guys can answer. I already see some feedback coming in. This is great. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to give another 10 seconds. So far, it's becoming a tie really quickly. Back inflation is the most popular right now, though. Okay, I'm going to give another 5 seconds, guys. Go ahead and put your answers in, and I will share them now. Okay. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to share the results. Back inflation is the winner, and I'm not surprised. I think would be the same for me too.
I think people also should dive with it actually next to each other, and then they can decide if the vertical weight system works for them or not. This is very personal. It depends on your diving style. If you're a dive master and you're busy with people, or if you're just out there watching the underwater world, then you might just like to go slow through the water, you know?
Absolutely. No,
you
absolutely.
Try it somewhere. That's my advice.
Yeah, no, it was, I think it's a comment. Kaizen Scuba says that they agree on the free range of motion and minimizing the bulk. We use our Scorpion for open water diving, but a jacket BCD when teaching in the pool to be the same as our students. But it is such a heavy duty BCD, even as a back inflation. They also said that it has enough lift to handle a 7mm wetsuit diving. They absolutely love it. So you guys could be a brand ambassador for the Scorpion BCD, I think. You're hired. Thank you so much. No, we love the positive feedback. It is a heavy duty BCD. It has a lot of lift. Okay, I think we covered the Scorpion pretty good, guys. Thanks for interacting with us and from our lovely audience. I think we have one more product that we have to talk about. We're going to go back to the regulator. situation. Give me 1 second. I'm technically challenged. Here we are. Okay, can you see my screen? Awesome. Okay, guys, meet the T10. Some of you may already be familiar with the T10. It is not a new product of 2021, but again, this is one of our best-selling items and one of our nicest products that we've put out on the market to date. As always, guys, feel free to ask us any questions you want in that Q&A button down below. We are here for you, but if for some reason we miss it or there's a question you forgot to ask or something comes up later, all of the information on the T10 can be found at Cressi.com, as well as user manuals for download at Cressi.com. And there's also our online digital catalog where you can find high resolution images and technical specs for you and your customers. So that's all there for you guys, whatever you may need, as well as our YouTube channel for any kind of videos. All right, I'm going to come back over here to my panelist. Hi, guys. All right, so I would love for you guys to please kindly introduce the T10 to our amazing audience.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. So, yeah, the T10 is a balanced first stage, a diaphragm regulator, high flow, is unaffected by the tank pressure, remaining tank pressure, or your depth. It's just a very easy breathing regulator, and I'm super, super excited about it. I'm also super excited about our combinations that we have. You can pair the T10, it comes in a din and a yoke, by the way, and you can pair it with either a Galaxy adjustable or a Galaxy non-adjustable second stage, which are also balanced second stages. And those two regulators are not available online. So if we're talking to our dive store owners right now, this is a great way to capture a regulator system where your consumer, your customer is not going to be able to go online and buy it from a vendor online. It's something that's only sold in stores. And we also have the Master Titanium and the Master Chromo, very similar in performance. Yeah, just super, super excited about that. The other thing too is I've sold quite a few to dive stores that do public safety dive teams, and they like it because it does have a sealed chamber. So it's very. My friend Theo will talk about that in a minute. But yeah, just super, super reliable, easy breathing. And it's an easy sell regulator without breaking the bank on the consumer. And Theo, maybe you might want to mention something I missed, or perhaps something.
No, I know why you say that, because during our meetings, I've asked attention a few times for something that's important. And while people are listening, for instance, one of our attendees is Susanna Hell from Cane Bay Dive Shop in Christ. They have phenomenal walls, deep water, but it's warm, 84 degrees and down. So they don't need the environmentally sealed because they don't need to have first stage that won't freeze up on them. This is a big, big, big fairy tale that's out there that I would like to end as of today. Environmentally sealed means that you do not get water in your first stage. It means that you don't get dirty water into your first stage, like Pete mentioned, for responders. But also, when you're in warm water has a lot of nutrition. After 1 year, there's stuff growing inside of your first stage. So after 1 year diving with an environmentally sealed first stage, even in tropical waters, it means that your first stage on the inside is even brand spanking new, as long as you rinse without a dust cap, etc. You know what I mean? So I would advise anybody to consider a sealed chamber if you can afford that. Not just because it's for cold water, forget about that. Of course, it's beautiful that it prevents freezing, but you also want to keep it clean on the inside. So that's the story. Not against freezing, just to get the environment out, regardless of it's cold or warm water.
Exactly. No, absolutely. I don't know, maybe I missed it. Did we talk a little bit about how many like low pressure ports are on the T10?
Yeah, so there's 4 low pressure ports and 2 high pressure ports on the T10, and they're angled and designed in such a way, and it's really something I like a lot, Liz. The fact that the configuration when I set up my first stage just puts everything in the proper place, so it's very comfortable. Whether it's my gauges, my octopus, my primary reg, my low pressure inflator hose to my B.C.D, everything is in a proper place because the angle of the ports are perfectly placed. So
That's important.
that is real important.
That's important. I think we have a question from Kaizen Scuba, and they're asking how low of a temperature can the water be to dive the AC25 versus the T10?
Can I answer it?
Please.
Go ahead, Theo.
Oh, the biggest thing is we as an Italian manufacturer, we design and manufacture scuba dive gear based on the EN250 scuba legislation, which is a big fat book which tells us exactly how we should make dive gear. And I know that there's other companies and whatever, but we have to follow these strict rules out of safety, which is something we both like. Now, to get a certification for cold water, which is lower than 10 Celsius, what is that in Fahrenheit? Liz, you lived in Milan for a long time.
What was the Celsius? Hang on, let me rack my brain. 10
Celsius.
I don't know, like 60, 50, 50, 60-ish Fahrenheit.
10, 12 degrees before it starts freezing, something like that. So to get that certification, you have to jump through hoops, and we choose not to do this with the AC25, but we do have this with the Swift chamber. So our T10, good question, is definitely certified and built to go really cold, and the AC25, which is we didn't certify. Let's stay with the political correct answer.
I converted it. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I knew I was in the ballpark.
So, and then there's another question. I'm really sorry. Depends on where you are. I'm sure that Mike Ely, one of our colleagues in Canada, finds that where I am, sometimes it's like the water is like 82 degrees, and then we're all freezing and we're panicking. And that would be the best vacation ever. So, seriously, 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. That's where we put the line for the AC25, just because we didn't get it certified like some others do, for a variety of reasons. And the biggest reason is exactly what Pete said, and I can say once more, you want to dive really cold, get a T10.
Yeah.
Why do we need to have the AC25 competing with a beautiful ultimate breathing machine, as Pete always calls it, the T10?
Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely. Thanks for the question, guys. So I think really quickly, I have one more poll for everybody. Let's just go ahead and launch it. So we have 45 seconds. The question is, why is the T10 such a popular regulator in you guys' opinion? So you can say because of its sealed chamber, because of its highest quality membrane for stage in the Cressi line, or phenomenal average breathing effort. So we already have answers coming in. Thank you, guys. So far, looks like phenomenal breathing average is winning. Just kidding. Now it's because of the sealed chamber. People are all over the board here. Okay, let's give another 5 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and share our results right now. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for taking part in this poll. I'm going to share the results for everybody to see. So it looks like it was a tie because of its sealed chamber, which is unique for the T10, and also because of the phenomenal average breathing effort, which I think is really important. I'm going to stop sharing the results here. No, we had one other question coming from Kaizen, and they were asking, is Cressi working on a line for the Octo, and what about the MC9?
Yeah, inline Octo. Well, let me tell you something. First, I talk with Italy on a regular basis. I haven't been there for 1 year, and I'm planning to go this summer because I always love it to see a ton of projects that everybody is working on hard, but Mr. Cressi decides which product or project is prioritized based on a lot of things. Now, based on what happened this year, we put certain products on hold, and I'm sure you understand that. I think it's the same with your business. So no, there's not something that you can expect in the buyer's guide now. That's the answer on your question, but don't be surprised if we will pull out some great projects out of our head after this summer. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand the question about the MC9.
I think maybe this is touching about, I don't know, I'm guessing Kaizen Scuba, you can correct me if I'm wrong. No. They just are, I think it's probably a comparison question because the MC9 is also offered in a sealed chamber.
Yeah.
like the T10. So maybe they're looking for a little bit of a comparison between the two, which is, yeah, so they told me the MC9 versus T10 for rental, which is a really great question.
Yeah, and one that could be made. But again, if I'm a dive store owner and I want to sell a regulator to my customer that I'm going to profit from, better would be the T10 than the MC9. Now, performance-wise, my humble opinion, again, it would be the T10, no question about it.
Yeah,
But
I think it's important that, and of course, we're not talking about other regulators than the one that we have here in this webinar. I'm not talking about Cressi, but in general, having 0.6 joule work of breathing on a regulator is unique. Now, like you touched earlier, Pete, it's not just the price; it's the price quality that matters. So there, and you've told me this a ton of times with the dealers that you run into, have a lot of what people would call higher end regulators because they pay 3 times the price that they pay for a Cressi regulator. If you use the same kind of material, if you have the same or a better work of breathing, and the price is half the price, it's a much better choice. Because today with internet, and I'm sure Sol is well aware of this, people know what kind of pricing there are out there. Everybody has a smartphone. So trying to make a ton of money on a regulator which has the same work of breathing, so it's just as good actually as the Cressi regulator, but twice the price, that's not a good advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'm too Dutch and too direct, but that's really how I believe. You should tell your people, like, this is a phenomenal regulator. Look at all these numbers in the reviews. Yeah, it's more affordable, which is good for you. Why don't you buy a new PC next to this?
yeah, I agree. I explain and kind of would describe the T10 as, again, I like to use the Italian analogy. We all know about the sports cars in the Italian world of Italy. And I say, you're getting a Ferrari for the cost of a General Motors car. You're getting that quality, but you're not having to pay the high ticket.
Yeah.
And I hear this from the dive dealers that service their own regulators. Because of that, they open up the T10 and say, this is actually well thought through. How this is made out of one piece of metal. This is unique. Because you see that often when first stage gets too technical or too high class, they need to come up with special tools to be able to service it because, we have a problem there, then we design a special tool to solve the problem. Mr. Cressi would not accept that. We don't need a special tool, then we go back to the drawing board, redesign the first stage until you don't need special tools.
Yeah, that's true. I know. Guys, I know that we could talk about gear all day. But we're on our budget. We're at 45 minutes, which means I gotta close. So guys, I want to thank Theo. I want to thank Pete. Thank you for your time, for coming here. Your expertise is super valid. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. Having you guys here is amazing. The great success of the other webinars is why we're able to keep continuing to do these for you guys, for your knowledge. So thank you to everybody in the audience that came today. Just a quick reminder, when I close the webinar, there's going to be a really quick survey that pops up. It's a multiple choice. It's really easy. If you could just take 10 seconds to give us some feedback, we would really appreciate it. We like to know what you guys think and where you all are. So that's it. Thank you guys so much. Theo, Pete, thank you. And see everybody for the next seminar on hydrosports. Can't wait. Guys, ciao. Thank you.
Cheers, everybody.
Ciao.
Have a great week.
Thank you.